Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Ioana Kotutsu and I'm project coordinator of Unwaste for UNODC. We want to welcome you to the webinar. We are waiting for 1 more minute. There are a couple of people in the waiting room still joining, and we are going to start in a couple of moments. So I think we are going to start now. We encourage you to switch your microphone off, but if you want to keep the camera on, please feel free to do so, because we are a small group, and it'd be nice to see everyone and possibly interact a little bit later during this webinar. So I'm going to reintroduce myself for people who joined in the past 2 or 3 minutes. My name is Ioana Kotutsu and I work for UNODC. I coordinate a project called Unwaste. The project, we had a presentation earlier this year on the project. Some of you already attended that webinar. But today we have an episode of the Unwaste Webinar Series where RYLO AP, our colleagues from RYLO AP, are going to talk about their work on Green Earth operation and on the Operation Demeter VII. So before handing it over to our colleagues from RILO AP, I just wanted to let you know that this year we have other webinars looking into waste trafficking, and in late June, early July, the date will be announced in the next couple of weeks. We are going to have a DG Environment presenting on EU regulation, new EU proposed regulation on waste, and what are the implications for Southeast Asia. After the European summer holidays in September, we are going to have UNITAR talking about their work in collecting data and doing research on the project cycle, where they're looking into e-waste across the world. And also at the end, towards the end of the year, we have UNODC presenting legislative guide on waste trafficking that was put together by our colleagues, some of our colleagues in UNODC. So stay tuned, and please keep an eye on the Mobilize platform. We are going to post the announcement for our coming events, and also if you have any discussion topics or questions, I think it's a platform that's there for everyone. So everyone is welcome to join. It's not only for the organizer of these webinars. Right now I want to thank everyone for joining, and I also want to thank our colleagues from RILO AP for accepting to present their work during this webinar. While looking at their work, we also want all of you to think about the role of international cooperation in combating waste trafficking, and to be prepared for a discussion after the presentation. So I'm handing over to my colleagues and from RILO AP, Jiyoung Kim and Chunwon Chi, who are going to tell you more about their work. Thanks a lot.
Can you hear me well? Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I will start my presentation. Nice to meet you, everybody. My name is Jiyoung Kim, Intelligence Analyst in RYLO AP. It is a big pleasure to take in charge of this presentation to introduce our topics and current work. My presentation will be processed in the order of membership, activities of RYLO AP in 2021, plan for this year, and lastly, overview of Operation Green Earth. Let me start with a brief introduction of the RYLO AP. Since RYLO AP was established in 1987, it was hosted by Hong Kong, China, Japan, China. From 2012 to now, Korean Customs has been hosting the RYLO AP in Seoul. We have been playing the role of the focal point of intelligence exchange and enforcement cooperation in the AP region. We have 33 members in the AP region, and RYLO network has grown to 12 offices around the world, including us. Now, let me tell you the activities of RYLO AP. First, as a liaison office, RYLO AP assists member administration by sharing the information and intelligence among customs administration and RYLOs in another region. Second, by managing SEN, which stands for Customs Enforcement Network, RYLO AP monitors seizure cases on a daily basis to improve data quality. Third, for the capacity building, RYLO AP holds regional seminar to promote the information exchange among members and to share important trafficking trend or SEN training workshop, which helps members to get used to the SEN database. Fourth, RYLO AP has attended major international meetings taking place in the WCO headquarters, such as GRM, SENMET, EC, and so on. Moreover, we actively participated in various operations dealing with regional and global issues. Fifth and sixth, regarding joint operation and intelligence project, I will give you the explanation in the next slide. As for the joint operation, 3 major operations are carried out in Asia-Pacific region, which are course, Mekong Dragon 3, Demeter VII operation. We also supported Stop, Pathfinder, Trigger Servo, Thunder operations to facilitate the performance. Global Joint Operation Course is aimed at illicit synthetic drugs and precursor. Regional Joint Operation Mekong Dragon 3 is aimed at not only illicit drugs and precursor, but also endangered wildlife trafficking. Lastly, Global Joint Operation Demeter VII is aimed at hazardous waste and ozone depleting substance. The Operation Demeter VII will be introduced in detail by Mr. Chunan in the next presentation. This is about the intelligence projects. There are 3 ongoing intelligence projects. Project Crocodile aims at illicit tobacco trade. Project Sky Patching is aimed at hazardous waste and ODS. And Project DSINS ARSC aims at illegal trading of drugs. Today, we got together for Unwaste Webinar, so I will tell you a little more about the project Sky Patching. So this project was initiated by China Customs in 2006, and around 993 tons and around 215,000 pieces of hazardous waste were reported in 2021 with active participation of 26 members. For your reference, Hazardous waste included printed circuit board waste, flat panel display waste, battery, metal scrap, notebook computer, and pigment cartridge, and etc. In 2022, RYLO AP is scheduled to participate in operations such as IRIN 3, which aims to detect small arms and light weapons, Operation Mekong Dragon 4, which aims to prevent illegal drugs and wildlife, and Demeter VIII, which aims to detect trafficking of waste. We are going to pay more and more attention on ongoing projects, as I mentioned before. Let's move on to the overview of Green Earth operation. Operation Green Earth is initiated in 2019 to crack down on the illegal trade of waste in Asia and the Pacific region by communicating each other and conducting joint investigation. The scope of the Green Earth was illicit shipment of hazardous waste through all modes of transportation. It was participated by 17 member administration and supported by UNEP and Basel Convention. The operational phase was carried out from 25th March to 17 May. Now, I would like to show the table of number of seizure cases reported by the participating members. According to CENTCOM database, the total of 104 seizure cases were reported by participants during the operation. Korea Customs reported 30 cases, China Customs reported 21 cases, Hong Kong Customs reported 21 cases, Sri Lanka Customs, Thailand Customs, Malaysia Customs, Vietnam Customs comes next. Now I will show the selection and conveyance of waste based on the seizure cases reported. Among 104 seizure cases of waste, 81 cases were intercepted at entry points, 19 cases were intercepted at exit points, 4 cases were seized in transit. Regarding the means of the transportation, vessels were the major conveyance, which counts 96 cases, and 6 cases of freight and 2 cases of vehicles were reported. Let me move on to the categories of intercepted waste. The total quantity amounted to around 135 tons and 60,000 pieces in quantity. Plastic waste was the majority of illicit shipments in terms of both number of cases and quantities. To take a look at major categories, 45 cases of illegal plastic waste were detected by members. The total amount was about 68,000 tons and 49 units. 26 cases of illegal e-waste were seized by members. The total amount was about 524 tons and around 59,000 pieces or units. 17 cases of illegal municipal waste were intercepted by members. The total amount was about 2,600 tons. 10 cases of illegal slag and metal waste was detected by members. The total amount was about 2,400 tons. Finally, I will move on the conclusion and way forward. During the operation, every seizure case from participating member administrations could not be input into CENTCOM system. Nevertheless, there were numerous successful seizure cases of illegally shipped waste at entry and exit points, and in transit by Korea, China, Hong Kong, China, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Malaysia, and Vietnam. Information conveyances between customs of destination countries and customs of departure countries were not conducted frequently. It would be attributed to the short duration of this periodical joint operation, since it takes time for huge waste to be shipped and for customs to investigate the waste as well. Recently, each member administration and international organizations have endeavored to suppress the illegal trade of waste. During the Basel Conference of the Paris from 29th April to 10th May in 2019, governments amended the Basel Convention to include plastic waste in a legally binding framework, which will make global trade in plastic waste more transparent and better regulated. And many member administrations have started to regulate the import of waste to their regions and have been sending back the waste actively. Considering the constant request for enforcement coordination and practical operation, a routine platform should be established to facilitate the information sharing of illegally shipped waste among customs administrations in Asia and the Pacific region. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Ji-Young, for a very interesting presentation. We are going to open the floor for questions at the end. Right now, I'm going to hand it over to Chun-Wan for Operation Demeter VII.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to share my PPT. Okay, thank you. Is the voice and PPT available?
I don't think you're in full screen for the PowerPoints.
Okay, I put it to full screen now.
Yeah, I think you can go ahead.
Yes,
we can see any participants, they have hard time, but this is we can see it fine. Now we cannot see your screen anymore.
I suppose it's okay now.
Excellent.
thank you.
Okay, thanks for having me, dear colleagues and friends. So good day and good evening, and so good to see some colleagues from WCO headquarters and some old friends and partners here. I'm an intelligence analyst of World Customs Organization, Regional Intelligence Liaison Office in Asia Pacific area, and a member of Coordination Unit of Operation Demeter VII. My name is Chun-Wan Shi, and thanks to the Unwaste project for organizing this event. I'm going to share a brief introduction about Operation Demeter series. The Operation Demeter series is a global customs coordinated law enforcement operation organized by World Customs Organization Environment Program with the cooperation of UNEP, Secretary of Basel Convention, Montreal Protocol, UNODC, Interpol, OLAF, and other organizations, aiming to monitor and control cross-border movements of hazardous and other waste under Basel Convention and substances controlled under the Montreal Protocol. It was first launched in the year of 2009, roughly 13 years ago, and the successive operations were performed in 2012, 2013, and since the year of 2018, it became a yearly operation as the waste problem gains more attention across the world. In the year of 2021, it was 7th operation. So back to the first time Operation Demeter in 2009, there was joint operation participation of 64 countries and regions, leading to the seizure of more than 30,000 tons and 1,500 pieces of illegal hazardous waste in 15 seizures, ranging from household waste and scrap metal to discarded electronic goods and used vehicle parts. In the 7th operation last year, thanks to all the participating members, the NCPs, commanders, and the frontline officers, the actions taken, intelligence sharing, seizures, inputting, even organizing, leading to a success of this operation. The operation was from the 1st to 31st October, and there were preparation before and debriefing and evaluation later. There were 102 law enforcement agencies involved in this operation, including 87 member customs, the most ever in Demeter series, and 8 international organizations and 7 RILOs across the world. In this operation, a total of 121 cases were reported, mostly are waste. In terms of quantity, over 4,000 tons and nearly 7,000 not-weight pieces were seized. Mostly were waste and 7 tons, and other 450 pieces of ozone depleting substances. From this table, we could see that we have a ceramic seizure, 1 case, and 3 chemical case, 22 metal case, 17 mixture case, paper waste case 2, plastic waste 16 cases, rubber case 9, and vehicle parts and machines 21 cases. About the departure, according to the observation, Europe is the most with 73 cases accounted for 61%. When it comes to destination, the case number destined for Asia is 54 cases, accounted for 45%. Destined for Europe is 29%. Destined for Africa is 22%. So accordingly, European and Asian member customs reported the most cases. When we analyze by trade direction, nearly 50% of the seizures were made at export. In comparison, the results of Operation Demeter VI in 2020 show that seizures at import were dominant, nearly 50%. And in the operation in 3 years ago, 2019, 2018, seizures made at import totaled higher, nearly 70% or 80%. So respectively, it may reflect consistent efforts in raising awareness in Europe, North America, and other continents. Most waste were transported via sea cargo to other regions or on trucks across land borders, despite the shortage of shipping capacity, high rising costs, and seaport jams. Of all the transportation modes, vessels still accounted for the most. with 79 cases. Even the total weight is less than the operation in 2020. So as a consequence, in terms of offense location, the majority of seizures were made at seaports, and inland offense locations ranked second with 20 cases. In most cases, the commodities seized were not concealed. In other cases, the commodities were concealed in transport and in freight. I'm going to discuss findings in this operation. There were 16 seizures of plastic waste, which is an important part. In the mixed waste, there were 17 seizures, consisting of old items and textiles, used wheels and tires, used items and textiles, metals, scrap rubber, and household waste. For metal, there were 22 seizure cases, consisting mainly of copper compounds and metal carbonates. Within Europe, illegal shipments were often detected at land borders. About vehicle parts and machines, there were 21 seizures, including car bodies, truck and car engines of several brands and other car parts. The majority of these shipments were destined for Africa. The analysis of the route showed a pattern of intertwined routes, such as Europe to Asia, Europe to Europe, and Asia to Asia. Europe was the most frequent departure location, with 73 cases accounting for 60%. The number of cases destined for Asia accounted for 46% of all cases. Vehicle parts and machines came mainly from Europe, and plastic waste came from Europe and Asia. Regarding the destination of waste, the data shows a spreading pattern worldwide, including Asia, Europe, and Africa. In Europe, as we said, it's easy to cross land borders by truck. Several seizures were made at such checkpoints. And in Africa, movements of waste seems to be rising, especially vehicle parts, electric or electronic waste, and rubber. We have some photos about the seizures. Paper waste, used car parts, electronic waste, used truck parts, engine parts, waste battery, waste metal. And before the ending, I would like to share some observations through the Operation Series. Through the effort of the Operation Series in more than a decade, legislation on waste and other environmental issues in many countries have been strengthening and updating to suppress hazardous waste and ODS violation. This contributed to the decline trend of the weight of waste seized. The shortage of maritime transport capacity and traffic jam in ports also contributed a part to the decline of the seizure weight. And we also observed that efforts from different law enforcement agencies are strengthening. Customs and police forces are both seen in cooperation of several cases. And not only the destination countries strengthen the law enforcement, the source and transit countries have also realized the shared responsibility and contribute a big part of seizures. Thank you. And after the presentation, we'll be happy to have some further discussion. Thank you very much. host moderator.
Thank you so much, Chunwan, for your presentation. And it's really interesting to see all the data extracted from the operation, and actually how it shows different trends into the waste trafficking. And also you mentioned interesting aspect as impression progression of the Operation Demeter in the past years, reaching 102 organizations during the Demeter VII. And also the variety of waste. You see the metal in if you look at the trade data, metal is one of the top quantities, and also it's one of the top seizures, along with plastic. And I really, seeing what you mentioned about some exporters taking more responsibility and having more enforcement operations. So you see if I understood well, exporting countries increasing the number of seizures according to the last data. And everything it's really really fascinating about this presentation. Thanks a lot. And I also wanted to highlight the work that UNODC is doing with trying to increase cooperation within the region, but also in the countries we are working in. The work of customs of enforcement agencies is really essential in informing policy and making progress towards a legislation that enable better action against waste trafficking. So thanks a lot. Right now, my colleague Florian, who actually played an amazing role in organizing this webinar, is going to give the floor to participants for some quizzes that we have. We have a couple of questions for you, so you can turn your cameras on because we would like to see and maybe ask you some questions. And after this quiz, we are going to open the floor for more questions from participants. Florian, over to you.
So you should see some polls on your screen, if I did everything correctly. And the first question we would like to ask you is to name 2 key elements that can foster international cooperation to combat waste trafficking. So feel free to type your answer or to turn on your microphones and tell us about your opinion about that.
So can everyone see the questions? Yep. Okay, excellent. So you can either type or just raise your hand and provide an answer.
We'll give you a few minutes. I see that you're also answering to the second question. So you have something to look forward to. Very good. We'll give you 1 or 2 extra minutes so you can share your experience with us, and then we'll open the floor. We are giving you 2 extra minutes to finish your answers, and then we're going to close the polls and start discussing. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. So just maybe before we are handing over, showing the pool results and handing it over to you for questions or comments, I would like to hear from Ji-Young Chun-Wan, the answer. So what do you think in your experience with RYLO AP and the Operation Green Earth, Operation Demeter? What are the key elements for international cooperation according to your experience?
Okay, thank you, Yona. I would like to have a further perspective first. So from personal view, waste is always connected to global economy, global development. It's not just a concept, and not just about law enforcement. The concern on waste is a product of global economy prosperity in the previous years, especially in developing countries. So making more and more people thinking what kind of Earth we would like to leave to our next generation, especially scientists expected the global population peak will come much earlier, and a global population decline is foreseeable much faster. So, so that partly explains in recent years the public awareness on waste in developing countries is fast rising. For example, the protest against waste dumping and the upgrade of law enforcement system, the waste smuggling became criminal charge in some countries in recent years. And so from this perspective, so for the international cooperation, we think it's really good news that UN Waste project and other projects, just like WCO Asia Pacific Plastic Program, such projects are established to jointly enhance the improvement on capacity building, law enforcement, etc. So I would like to share about the recommendation on international cooperation on waste. The first one is about capacity building. Online and offline training program or workshop is always necessary. So as the COVID situation becomes better, we expect maybe the offline events, collaborated training program of international organizations could be expected to be launched if possible from this year. Capacity building is so important that law enforcement staff and other officers are also constantly changing, retired, relocated, promoted, etc. So new people, new officer needs to be well trained as well. And the laws and regulations are constantly updated. For example, Basel Convention Plastic Amendment went into effect last year. It also needs to be approved by parliament in different countries for their officers to follow. And also the capacity building is a broader concept in a country. Not only the elite group needs to know this, the wider public also needs to know more. So more public projects are expected from international organizations, joint efforts. And the second one about the intelligence and information sharing between international organizations. So many organizations have their own intelligence source. So if it is possible, we could expect more messages, more warnings, more intelligence to share together. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Unwaste, for this very comprehensive answer. That's really, I don't know from RYLO AP if there is anyone else who wants to add, or if we could go directly to present the quiz results.
We have very interesting answers. Thank you so much for everybody who took the time to write something down. So the first question to remember was name 2 key elements that can foster international cooperation to combat waste trafficking. I see that Guillaume, you are raising your hand. Would you like to comment on that?
Yes, I want to add some comment about that. Yes, as a key element for fostering international cooperation, RYLO AP wanted to emphasize specific communication platform. We use SAN and SANCOM platform to share intelligence and communicate each other. But if we have such communication platform, it will be much more convenient and effective for international cooperation. Second, contact point management is another important element. We contact member administration or RYLOs in other regions through NCP. NCP means National Contact Point. We periodically check whether there are any change on the NCP information. In addition, we hold NCP meeting annually to share the performance of previous year and strengthen the relationship for further cooperation. And about the successful international cooperation we involved in, as a regional intelligence liaison office, we produce alerts, analysis report, and annual report. Alerts mainly focus on the smuggling information of illicit trade on an ad hoc basis. Analysis report, which deals with the summary of seizure cases, major seizure cases, and items of special interest, is issued on a quarterly basis. And we publish annual report, which summarize what RYLO AP has done for a year. I think distributing and sharing this publishment is also one of the activities for successful international cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jung, for your intervention. It's really useful to hear. There are also, I think, from the participants, we heard the cooperation, the rapid response system, trainings, capacity building, having contact points. So really good answers. Right now, I think if you can share the answer to the second question. So the second question, give an example of successful international cooperation you've been involved in. So we heard a lot from RYLO AP, and here we have a couple of answer waste force projects. This is a project that was led by UNAP, ACCU Airport, wasn't involved, narcotic detections, ULAB to Malaysia, companies being prosecuted in Australia, discussions with Gary Hall from Australia about the movement of PPC waste to the UK as green lease waste. It should be notified. So need for notification. We heard that in our dialogues the UNWC Unwaste project had with different government counterparts, need for more notification. The Operation Demeter and in addition, Voice Waste project was customer organization, Asia Pacific Plastic War project, and yeah, there's a lot of examples. Thanks for yeah, sorry, Waste Force was led by Impal, not UNAP. Yeah, my apologies. And thanks, and my apologies for the confusion. And I would like now to open the floor for questions from the participants. You can put your camera on, you can raise your hand, and I would like to hear your questions from, you know, or to RYLO AP or to other participants. Or you can type the questions in the chat, please. Nancy?
Yes. Hi, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I have a question to RYLO AP about the suggestion to establish the kind of platform or routine platform. Who would be the target audience, or who would be using this platform, and does it already exist, or do you envisage it to be built? So I would appreciate a bit more information about the platform. Thank you.
Chunwan or Jiyoung, would you like to answer the question, please?
Yes, we will answer the question. Thank you. Wait a minute, we have an officer to answer the question. Mr. Yang Mo.
Can you hear me? Actually, RYLO AP have this online platform to share information, and we just suggested this platform is really helpful for us to share information, and it's really easy to approach. So we are not suggesting that for this Unwaste project to build up another platform. We just refer to this our good practice, and maybe we can also make another place to share our information on a regular basis. That's why Jiyoung mentioned this online platform. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, is it just for customs officers or also for environmental authorities?
Young Mo, we cannot hear you.
the it's just for customs officers or also for other people.
So it's only for customs officer, if I understood correctly. Sorry, we couldn't hear the answer quite clearly.
Actually, when it comes to account for this online platform, there is an operator for this online platform, and normally we give the account to the NCPs, which means National Contact Point, and they have the right to approach to the information of the data uploaded on this platform. So in addition to that, there's another platform called CENTCOM, and in this platform we can give the right to approach from another agency, not only from the customs officials, but also from the international agencies whenever it is needed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for the question, Nancy. Thanks a lot, Yungmo, for the answer. I just wanted to, on these platforms, you already in Unwaste projects, we're talking with counterparts from other than customs, for example, environmental police, and they said they would really like to have access to such platforms to collect information. So this is really interesting discussion that we have to continue for sure in the next months and years, because between the different projects working on waste. I just wanted to see, I see one more question in the chat, and I don't see any more hands. But you can just put your camera on and switch off your microphone, and you can ask your questions. We still have a couple of more minutes. Maybe you have time for 1 or 2 questions.
We have a hand raised from Anna.
Okay.
Up there.
Yeah, Anna.
Thank you very much. Thank you, first of all, for hello to everybody. And on behalf of the WCO, of the WCO Environment Program, first of all, I would like to thank for the invitation to take part in today's webinar, as well as to thank the RYLO AP both for an excellent presentation today, presenting the Demeter operation, as well as the support of RYLO AP for the WCO in conducting this important global operation. So I hope that and that was the main message, that the Demeter operation sends, is that the cooperation of customs administrations, of enforcement authorities is crucial in combating environmental crime, and in particular waste-related crime. So the excellent and very high participation of WCO member administrations last year, just to note that we had the highest ever participation of 87 customs administrations, is extremely important to see that the issue of fighting illegal waste shipments is very high. Today's meeting is very important for me. I'm taking note of all the suggestions, of the conclusions and comments made, and hopefully we'll continue cooperation both with the UNODC on waste project, and of course we'll continue our efforts together with the RYLO AP and other RYLOs in Demeter, in future Demeter operations. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Anna, for your intervention. Thanks a lot for joining us. I know your schedule is very busy because you have a lot of things coming up in the next weeks as well. I think our time is coming to an end. I see a question in the chat.
I changed the settings. It should be good for everybody to post in the chat if anyone has a written question to share with us last minute.
Yeah, last chance. So seeing no other questions and no hands, I just want to thank again colleagues from RYLO AP, Ji-Young Kim and Chunwan Xu for their amazing presentation today and for sharing with us the result of their work, both on Operation Green Earth and Demeter VII. And I think there are a lot of things I learned from that. I hope it's the same for everyone. Please stay tuned for our next webinars. The next one will be at the end of June, beginning of July. We are going to set a date soon where the DG Environment is going to talk about the new proposed regulation of the EU on the waste exports and the possible impact for Asia Pacific. Also there will be other webinars by UNITAR and by UNODC in the second part of this year. So many thanks to all of you for joining. We are going to share the presentations and recording on the Mobilize platform. And feel free to just post your questions, materials, announcement on the platform. As I mentioned in the beginning of the webinar, there's a platform for everyone. It is meant to encourage dialogue and collaboration between its members. Chunwan, Ji-Young, any last remarks from your end?
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting us. It's been an honor working with you and meeting you all today, and looking forward to the further cooperation in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a great afternoon, evening, everyone. Goodbye.
Punctual. It's really punctual meeting.